Good morning. Wednesday, right? Yeah, Wednesday again, the 15th. Okay, so today we're doing something a little bit different. Today I'm trying this kind of a flipped lesson idea. So, yesterday in Schoology, I had a little white folder in Tuesday and it said flipped like Wednesday materials or flipped lesson material, something like that. Inside, I had selected 5 different links from PBS Eons for you guys to go through and watch one of them. Hopefully you did that. If you haven't done that, this is going to be an awful lot more difficult for you. Probably. If you watched more than one, then that's even better because that's actually going to give you a broader background as we start moving forward. So, if you check in Schoology today, you are going to see that for Wednesday the 15th, I have to keep checking the date there, I posted a discussion. And if you open up this discussion, what you're going to see, let me bring it up, is a mouse. And as you scroll through it, we're starting with example 1, labeled right down here. Then it goes to example 2. Example 2 moves on to example 3. And then finally, example 4. Now, this is set up as a discussion. What I am going to be asking you guys to do today, it should be pretty easy, is I want you to come up to this part, right? And below these pictures, sorry, not the top part, down here where it says reply. And what I want you to do is I want you to post something about the organism that you're seeing there. And I want you to focus on the traits. If you watched any of those PBS Eons videos that I showed yesterday, what they did was they talked about the changes that we saw happen to the organism, and then they lined that up with what was happening in its environment. Why do we think these changes happened? Today, you're going to do that. You're going to take a look at those 4 animals. That is one evolutionary line, fictitious, making this up. Just got pictures. Started as the little tiny mouse, grew into the larger mouse with like the white fur on the nose and stuff and the longer tail, then into the big capybara looking thing, and then finally into that crazy predator animal that you saw at the end. I want you to pick one trait from each of those animals, and I want you to describe why it has that trait. Now that part's easy. The additional part is I want you to try to explain what's a possible scenario that happened in that animal's environment that caused this new trait to evolve. Now, if this idea is confusing to you, then I have an example. I have 2 little turtle things here. Let's imagine for a moment that this one is the start, and then we see in the fossil record that it evolves into this one. So what I'd want to do is I would want to take a look at a characteristic first of our beginning species. Like in this case, I would look at these flippers, right? The flippers that this thing has are big, long. Those are got to be used for swimming. Like there's no toes on them. It can't walk on land with these things. So I would point out that those flippers are big, heavy. This is clearly an aquatic species living in the water. Then I'd go to the second one. Well, when you take a look at the second one, those flippers are an awful lot smaller. They're much thicker. I'm not saying that this is a land animal yet, but I could talk about how, well, its flippers are now these thicker, stronger things. that might be good for pulling itself up on land. So now what happened to its environment? What happened so that this was no longer the good high fitness and it evolved over into this? So I might look at this and say, well, clearly their home got more shallow. Maybe their food moved up into the shallower water or onto land. All right, a lot of this is going to turn into your interpretation of what you're seeing. And that, in essence, is really what a lot of evolution studies are. It's an interpretation of what we find, and then we try to correlate that with any other information that we may have. Because this is fictitious, we don't have any other information. So you're left coming up with ideas for why these traits changed and what changed in the environment to cause this to be needed. Now, there are a lot of traits to choose from. You can look at the length of the fur, the color of the fur, the length of the limbs, how thick the limbs are. Are there toes? Are they webbed? Are they claws? How big is the face? What kind of teeth? How large are the ears? You guys get the idea? There's a lot to choose from. Now, I don't honestly expect that everybody will get a different trait. That's not terribly reasonable. So let's add in one more wrinkle. Or not even a wrinkle. This is in your favor. I want you guys also to feel free to reply to somebody else. Let's say that you were going to do the tail length or something, right? But you look through the discussions and somebody already has. I want you to post a reply. Critique what they came up with. Does that make sense to you? Is that what you think it should be? We're going to spend today going back and forth on some of these things. All be polite, all right? If they say, oh, its tail got shorter, so now it's flying. Okay, that doesn't make any sense at all. But you don't need to get on there and go, whoa, that's just dumb. No, just tell them, I don't think that makes sense. I think it's probably, and then you explain your reason. All right, I am very interested to see how this works. The idea of flipping some of these lessons like this, where you guys watch the video and you do the front work, and then we come back and we do more of a back and forth, more of a adventure type thing. I like this idea. So I'm interested to see how well it works. I'm going to be taking a look at who says what. That's what everything for this one is going to be based on. Now, just as one more warning, keep in mind the third marking period comes to an end Friday. Any work that's missing, I need it as soon as you can possibly get it done. Fifth marking, fifth. There is no fifth marking period now because there's no Regents. Fourth marking period, we will be adding attendance to these sessions as part of your grade. Now, if for some reason you are not going to be able to attend, these videos also go up on YouTube. And so by sending me a message on Schoology about what you saw, I'll count that for attendance. So if you can't make it at 11, that's fine. Go watch the video and then message me on Schoology about what you saw. Don't just say, I watched the video. Not good enough. I want to know something from the video that I went over. Give me evidence that you saw it. All right, that's easy for today. Super quick. As some people are saying in chat, oh, this isn't going to go. Maybe it will. Maybe it will go well. And if not, this is participation. It's ideas. Don't stress over right or wrong. All right. For folks watching on YouTube, I'll see you tomorrow.